We want to take you to Minneapolis. NBCBLK reporter Janelle Ross is there. Janelle, it's been a heck of a week of protests in Minneapolis, and they've turned dangerous and violent over many nights. What is the feeling on the ground right now today? Is there a sense of what people are going through?
I think that the climate here is quite different than perhaps it might seem on TV. To be frank, it's very, very calm and I'd say almost warm and I guess inviting to those who would like to join the cause of calling for increased police accountability. That being said, of course, Minneapolis has been through a lot in this 1 week. And whatever America feels, I think Minneapolis is probably feeling 2 to 3-fold. However, I think one of the things that I keep hearing from people on the ground here is a real desire for people to take this situation seriously. I heard your earlier guest talking about the hamster wheel, the sort of recurrent cycle of someone dying, there being some public outrage, some public outcry, and then the cycle starts all over again once we've forgotten about it. What I'm hearing from a lot of people on the ground here is a lot of concern about how seriously their sense that there may be some outside and extremist forces that have sort of infiltrated protests, their sense that that's not being taken seriously. And then secondly, that there is a lot of attention being paid to the health and welfare of designer stores and businesses, and perhaps not enough attention being paid here and elsewhere to the actual policies that govern police conduct.
Janelle, let me ask you this. When we see images from Minneapolis and Minnesota, which is a very white state, and we see kind of a dividing line here. We have a black community that say they've been beleaguered and beat upon by the police. On the other hand, we see more kumbaya kind of moments. The day after the fires, black and white coming together to clean up the streets. In that push for that kumbaya unity moment, are we losing any of the steam and energy? Do activists and people on the ground feel that the rage and anger that they feel from the death of George Floyd is being lost in this desire to already move forward?
Absolutely. You hit it on the head. I have had multiple people say to me that as much as every human being may strive for peace and enjoy the calm of going about their daily lives, the problem is that normal really was a condition in which people were being killed all the time, right? And there are basic questions about justice and accountability that are not being answered. I certainly have had several activists say to me that the sort of focus on let's get together and hold hands and have unity seems to be misplaced. I think they would prefer to see people asking questions in their communities about what local use of force policies are, whether or not chokeholds are allowed by their police forces. What are the policies and procedures for dismissing a problem officer? What are the union contracts in their cities? I think the list goes on and on and on. But at a very bare minimum, I think that there is a lot of concern that in the sort of focus on let's come together and hold hands, which is sort of a reflexive, perhaps deep human need, that more important things might be lost.
Janelle Ross, thank you so very much. Keep up the good work.
Hey, NBC News viewers, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.